Welcome to CBS Sports HQ on this Wednesday, presented by CoolSculpting. Amanda Guerra, Jeremy St. Louis with you here. Here's the thing, we have a ton going on. The Combine's going on.
Oh, boy.
The players have arrived, Jeremy. We get to talk to them. They get asked all these weird questions by the media, and the teams are going to start working out tomorrow. But we begin today in the world of baseball.
Yeah, after the owners and the players failed to come to an agreement yesterday to end the lockout, Commissioner Rob Manfred canceling the beginning of the season. We hoped that it wasn't going to come to this, but it has. So the question is now what? After an extension of Monday's informal deadline, Major League Baseball and the PA were unable to strike a new collective bargaining agreement that would end the owner-imposed lockout. Tuesday actually marked the 3-month anniversary of the lockout, and the next step is uncertain. Manfred said the two sides will regroup at some point and continue negotiations, though no agreement is possible until Thursday. Okay, so we asked our Will Middlebrooks, what's the next step for the players?
Yeah, the question is, what's next for the players? Well, they sit back and wait for the owners to strike up conversation again. Is it a day? Is it a week? Is it 2 weeks? We don't really know. But the players themselves have to make sure they're ready to go. Whether you're a pitcher and you're getting your pitch count up to where it needs to be as a starting pitcher or a middle reliever. As a hitter, as a position player, you need to get out, take ground balls, get your legs out from under you, or get your legs under you, better to say. And get live at bats. Find pitchers that need innings. Find live at bats, whether it's a college pitcher, high school pitcher, doesn't matter what it is. See live pitching. Start your timing now, because spring training could be as short as 2 weeks long.
And I want to see Will Middlebrooks talking about baseball. I don't want to see him talking about the lockout. I want to see him talking about baseball. You know who else I want talking about baseball? David Sampson, the former Marlins executive. Of course, he knows a ton about the administrative side of the coin and what's going on. He shares those insights on his podcast, Nothing Personal with David Sampson. Download and follow Nothing Personal with David Sampson wherever you get your podcast audio. You can also watch David on YouTube.
So the Arizona Cardinals will be keeping Coach Cliff Kingsbury and General Manager Steve Keim around for the foreseeable future. The team announced extensions for both of them through 2027. The Cardinals coming off an 11-6 season and their first playoff bid since 2015. Now, the new contracts coming just days after their star quarterback Kyler Murray expressed his desire for a long-term deal. His agent saying, quote, "Actions speak louder than words in this volatile business." Now, the Cardinals had a phenomenal start to the season, winning their first 7 games, but the end of the season, losing 4 of their last 5, making it to the postseason, but losing to the eventual Super Bowl champs in the Rams in the wild card round. So now that Kingsbury and Keim are done, the next step, of course, what to do about Kyler Murray.
And things heating up for the Cardinals and things, of course, heating up at the Combine. Our crew is there all week long doing interviews.
Is it warm in Indy? I haven't checked the weather. I mean, can it actually be?
Oh, you're going to rub it in now. You're going to rub it in.
Yeah, here's the thing. Yesterday we heard from a ton of coaches and GMs, but things are really heating up today because the players are finally on site. Now, the schedule for the week there, 324 players invited to participate in this year's Combine. They'll start going through their medical evaluations today. They're going to begin meeting with the media. You'll see that here in a second. The workouts begin tomorrow with the tight ends, the quarterbacks, and the wide receivers, and wraps up on Sunday. Now, in the middle of all of that, the players will also be meeting with the team. Now, when it comes to guys that we are watching at the Combine, there are quite a few of them, but our fantasy expert, Jamie Eisenberg, he is eyeing one in particular, Arkansas wide receiver Treylon Burks. He's a beast, 6'3", 225, a speed demon at that, potential top 15 pick. And Arkansas's win against A&M this year had 5 catches for 163 yards, a touchdown. So what is Jamie so interested? Here's more.
The player I'm most excited to see is Treylon Burks, wide receiver from Arkansas. This is a loaded wide receiver class, but Burks has a chance to be the #1 pick in the majority of rookie-only drafts. Obviously, depending on where he ends up in the NFL, but so much talent, so much potential, and I think he's going to be a star in the NFL. You saw it in college, 147 catches, 18 touchdowns, over 16 yards per catch. He has the big play ability, but I think he's going to show you that he can do it all. You're hearing comparisons to DK Metcalf, but I think he's going to be a little bit better than DK Metcalf once he gets into the league and, again, gets in the right quarterback, right situation. So loaded receiving core. We're going to see a lot of these guys end up potential stars for fantasy managers and certainly stars in the NFL. You got the kids from Ohio State. You got Jameson Williams when he's eventually healthy. You got Drake London. Just a lot of top-end guys hopefully end up in good situations with good quarterbacks and good systems. But Treylon Burks has got the chance to be a star. He's the one I have my eye on.
So right now in Ryan Wilson's latest mock draft, he has Treylon Burks going 12th overall to the Vikings. Ryan saying the scariest part about Burks, that he's not even close to his ceiling yet. And by the way, you can hear more from Jamie and the Fantasy Football crew. Latest episode just dropped a couple days ago. They're talking about Kyle Pitts. Could he potentially go, what's going to happen with him this upcoming season there? Make sure to download and follow.
Time now for some bracketology presented by Upwork, the world's work marketplace. Find the perfect developer, designer, and more on Upwork.com. All right, tonight, Wake Forest takes on NC State as they try to secure a spot in the tournament. The Demon Deacons have gone 15-2 in home games. They'll be looking for the season sweep of the Wolfpack. We're 4-14 in ACC play. Meanwhile, Indiana, they're also on that bubble, but the Hoosiers bouncing back from a 5-game losing streak with consecutive wins over Maryland and Minnesota. Tonight, they'll continue to make a late-season push toward the NCAA tournament when they host struggling Rutgers. Now, two of those teams sitting alongside North Carolina and Oregon as first four out. The Ducks at Washington on Thursday. Tar Heels, who've won 4 straight, finish at Duke in Coach K's last game on Saturday. In terms of the last 4 in, Michigan continuing its flip-flop. They're now among the last 4 in. Tomorrow, they might be among the first 4 out. Who knows? They have Iowa tomorrow. Memphis, Florida, and VCU joining them. The Tigers go to South Florida Thursday. All right, meanwhile, in terms of big bubble games, Xavier, who've lost 4 consecutive games in 6 of their past 7, will try to get back on track Wednesday night when they visit another struggling team, St. John's in Queens. Red Storm have lost 4 of 6, including the past 2. Meanwhile, Creighton welcomes surging Connecticut. They've won 5 straight, and a beat of the Blue Jays would clinch at least the 3 seed at next week's Big East tournament. Other bubble games tonight, Davidson welcomes George Mason, and Miami is at Boston College. We've mentioned struggling Rutgers facing Indiana right there. Indiana, 5-point favorites. We asked our bracketologist, Jerry Palm, who's more in need of a win here?
Well, definitely Rutgers. And I don't even consider them a bubble team anymore after losing 3 in a row following that 4-game winning streak that got them a lot of attention. They need to win tonight to really just get back into consideration. They're right now at 16-12 overall. They've got some nice wins, but they also have some pretty bad losses, and it all makes for kind of a mess as a resume. They're in the 80s of the net at the moment, so they need to win to really have much of a shot at all. But Indiana needs this as well because this is a home game against a team that's decent. So, you know, they're the 4th team out in my bracket today. So if they want to move up, this is the kind of game that they have to win. Otherwise, they find themselves absolutely having to win at what's likely to be a pretty angry Purdue on Sunday.
The bracketology part of the CBSSports.com website is absolutely killing right now because people want Jerry's last 4 in, first 4 out. Every day he's updating the bracket. And for all the latest as we close in on Selection Sunday, you want to be listening to the Ion College Basketball Podcast. Matt Norlander, Gary Parrish breaking down all the scenarios and storylines as the regular season comes to a close. Download and follow the Ion College Basketball Podcast wherever you get your podcast audio.